What's up YouTube, AUTOCON360 here, back again with another review, and today we'll be taking a look at the Dragon Ball Super S.H.Figuarts Trunks. So, here we are, and there he is, and another great figure. Such a cool design. Not going to weigh in on my blue hair Trunks or purple hair Trunks debate. Just not going to do it right now. Purple Trunks all the way. But let's go ahead here and take a look at the packaging. And here we have our packaging for Trunks. My base form head is just upside down in the box. Your Tamashii Nation's quality stamp of approval. Toei, Funimation, Dragon Ball Super, legalese. More pictures on the side. Top, not much. Bottom, more pictures. Back, obligatory product shots. I bought it from Barnes & Noble, so this is a big ass sticker right there. Trunks on the side. So yeah, let's go ahead here and crack this guy open and take a look at what's inside. And of course, before we take a look at his accessories, we're going to take a look at his instruction sheet. So, of course, it has his name up at the top, shows you how to put these swords in his hands, how to put the sword in the sheath, how to connect the stand and also connect the spirit sword, and how to rest it onto the stand, how to swap the faces, of course, how to swap the heads, how to put the sheath on his back and also put the head on, and how to swap out the hands, and also how to put the Galley Gun effect into his hand. And here we have our accessories for Trunks. So he does come with a stand here for the spirit sword. So we'll go ahead and plug this in like so, and then we'll plug that in right there. And that's how you assemble the base. Of course, it is clear plastic so that you can take photos of it and easily edit it out. So yeah, there's that. We'll look at this again in a moment. Here I have the spirit sword piece itself. A very nice translucent blue plastic. Really lights up good once you get a direct light on it. It just really glows, and I love it. And we'll take a look at this again in a moment as well. Here we have the broken sword. In the anime, it was a little bit shorter than this, but I get why they did it. They did it so that it holds more securely in the sheath, which is fine. Doesn't really bother me too much. But yeah, nice silver on it. I love this silver. But let's take a look at more of the silver with the longer sword. And of course, this will come back in a little bit as well. Anyway, we have Trunks' regular sword. This is Trunks' second sword. They don't really tell us what happens to his original sword. I believe it gets broken in the show in Dragon Ball Z. I don't remember off the top of my head. It's been a while. Hi, me from the future. So before my brain completely forgets how to make words into a sentence, as you're about to see, what I'm trying to say about Trunks' sword here is that at the crossguard, the blade is thinner, and as it gets up to the top of the blade, it widens before it then points up for the tip. That makes a lot more sense than what I'm about to say, which I actually edited down to something that made a little bit more sense, but I figured I'd give a little bit more context to it first. So here you go. Expands outward and then goes into the point. But yeah, lovely silver. Really do like it. Like shining it right into the camera. So great. And here we have his sheath. Looks cool. Just brown and green. Then here we have the Galley Gun effect, which is nice and translucent and purpley. I thought the ball piece was a repaint of the death ball that came with Frieza. It is not. It is a brand new piece. So that is definitely cool. I wish we would have gotten this with the Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Vegeta. Would have been really cool. And then we could have gotten a Kamehameha effect for Goku and recreated that Kamehameha Galley Gun combo that they did against Broly in the movie. That would have been awesome, but unfortunately, they did not do that. But yeah, really cool. And taking a look at the base form head here. Nice blue on the eyes, blue on the hair. It's a thing. I'm not a fan, but it's a thing. If it bothers you that much, I believe the ball joint connection for this and the Xenoverse Trunks are the same, so you can just swap those those heads out if it bothers you that much, which is what I intend to do. This hair piece is a little stuck. There's definitely a tight grip on that. But swapping out the faces, just unplug it. It is the peg on the head, port on the face method that they've been doing that I don't like. But whatever. It works better here because he has the hairpiece to go over it, so that helps. But it is still loose on there. But the base form faces are definitely really snug. Here's your angry face. I wish he had a gritting teeth face for base form, and also a neutral face for Super Saiyan, but he doesn't. So if anything, my biggest complaint with this guy is he doesn't have enough faces. So I wish we had a few more to give him a little bit more expression and make this face and make this head a little bit more useful for me, because I wanted to put him in that pose that we see him in where he's holding his sword and looking off to the side and gritting his teeth. So pretty much this face, but in base form. I just really like that picture of him. But unfortunately we don't have that face. We just have a screaming face. And then for the Super Saiyan, or as I'm calling it, Super Saiyan 2 head, because it makes more sense for this to be Super Saiyan 2, because that's what it is. He's Super Saiyan. He even says he's Super Saiyan 2 in the anime when his hair is like this, so there you go. And I plan on using the regular Super Saiyan head from the Xenoverse Trunks as my Super Saiyan head for this guy. But yeah, looks good, nice and spiky, very Super Saiyan 2-y. Faces swap out just like the other ones. There you go, and it is still the peg on the head, poured on the face method, which does still make the heads hold on loosely, which I'm not a fan of. But yeah, looking pretty good. And in terms of hands, here we have one relaxed hand. We have two Galagun firing / key blast hands. We have two Galagun charging / final flash firing hands. And we have two sword holding hands and two fisted hands. And to plug the Galagun effect into the hand, you just take the port. It is on a kind of a ball joint, and it just ports right into the hole in the hand. It's a little tight, but it does work just fine. And it actually is a ball joint because it does wobble a bit. But again, I wish we had this with Vegeta, but it does still look great here. And to show off installing the hands real quick, it's just like every other Figuarts figure, just on a ball joint. It tends to be easier if you do it with the hand on the side, the angle on the side, so that way you can get a bit more leverage. Come on. Yeah, there we go. And it's on there. And then to show off installing the sheath and the head, it tells you in the instructions to take off his collar piece. It just tabs in right there and right there. Tab on the back, tab on the front. And when you put it back on, too, you just want to tab the back first and then get it on the front. So you take a sheath, and just like with the original Trunks, it does untab right there, and there's tab right there. So you just loop it around, and you plug the tab at the top into the port on his back, and get his arm out of the way, and just plug it right back in there. Plug it right back in there. Thank you. And then you can take your broken sword, plugs right in, works great. And you take your collar piece, put it back on, loop in the back first and then the front, and then you just take your head and put it onto the ball joint. And there you have a Trunks, all smiley and happy. And just for a quick comparison with the base form Super Trunks and the Cell Saga Trunks, there you go. And just taking him, switching him over to Super Saiyan, and switching his hands out, I'll show you how to install the swords. Both the swords are the same. Both swords are the same. You just take and unplug the bottom of the hilt. You take it and you feed it through the holes and the hand, like so. And he can two-hand grip it, so like so. And then you just take and you plug the bottom piece back onto the hilt. And then once you get them situated to your liking, you can just take your stand here and then take your amazingly beautiful Spirit Sword piece, and it just simply slides right over the sword, and the Spirit Sword holder just simply holds it up. Just a second. And after about 30 minutes of being very frustrated with this because my table is too slick for the stand to support it, it will support it. You just have to have something under the stand to kind of give it grip, because it is just clear plastic, which does tend to be very smooth. But when it does work, it looks great. Should look something like this. So I do recommend you put some rubber tack or something under the bottom of the stand, and it should look fine. Alright, with that frustration out of the way, let's go ahead here and take a look at Trunks. So, looks really cool. Really nice update to Trunks. I really do like his design, just not his blue hair. But yeah, looking at the head sculpt here, looking pretty good. Nice hair. It is a bit of a paler yellow than what we usually see for our Super Saiyan heads. So for comparison here, he is with Vegeta. It is a bit more of a pale yellow, which is okay, I guess. But it's just strange to see this with a newer figure like this. I believe him and Gotenks came out like a month apart, and Gotenks' hair is the same color as Vegeta's, so I'm not quite sure why this was done. Could be because of the Spirit Sword thing. It could be because of Super Saiyan 2, even though Super Saiyan 2 Gohan's hair is the same. I don't know. I don't have all the answers. But I mean, other than the face splitting because of the way that they did it, everything on this guy is great. Looks really good. Nice rips in the arm here and in the pant leg. Really nice jacket. Nice boots. Looks great. In terms of articulation, of course his sword is going to get in the way of his head movement, depending on what head you have on. Now, just take this off here. His head is on a ball joint, and a hinge and swivel, just like every other Figuarts release. And then his neck is also on a ball joint, but that neck is real loose in there. And it kind of bugs me, because like if that neck gets loose or turned the wrong way, then you got to take the head off, got to take the collar piece off to get it straightened back out. It's just a whole thing. And again, I do wish we had a neutral face for him, so he's not always scouring off to the side. Shoulders are on a butterfly joint, give you a little bit more forward movement to help with two-handing the sword. Can get a full 360 out of him. Go out that far. Just a bicep cut. Double jointed elbow. And of course your hands are on a ball joint with a hinge and swivel, so you can change the axis of the movement. The abs, of course, are going to be hindered by the sword, but you can remedy that by just simply unplugging it, dropping it, and your abdomen is on a ball joint. It'll give you just a little bit crunch forward, a little bit crunch back, no pull up on it, and then your waist is also on a ball joint, so you can use both those in tandem to get a little bit more range out of him. Hips will kick forward that far, back that far, spread on them, and about that far, about this far, depending on how these cuffs here are oriented. Hi, it's me again. Sorry to interrupt your video, but I forgot to mention he does have a thigh swivel, so there you go. Got a nice double jointed knee. The knee pads on this guy are a little bit loose on some copies. Mine I had to actually glue on because it kept falling off. Yeah, nice range there. And his feet are just on a simple hinge and swivel, so they do hinge up and down, and you do have good ankle pivot and toe joint. And for comparison, here he is with 2.0 Vegeta. Here he is with Gogeta. Here he is with Broly. Coming up to about mid-ab on Broly at the top of the hair. Here he is with Cell Saga Trunks and Super Saiyan. And the two of them, for whatever reason, the Super Saiyan Trunks head here does seem to be a bit taller than the base form head. So now they're standing at about even. And finally here he is with the Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Vegeta. And they look really good together. And how could I forget the Mafex Deadpool. and I thought I'd get him into an epic pose for some final thoughts here. So yeah, this is a great figure. If you can find it for a good price, definitely recommend you get it. Check your local Barnes and Nobles and places like that, hobby shops. I will put a link to where you can buy him at BIgBadToyStore right now in the description below. So yeah, as always, I'm AUTOCON360. Please like, subscribe, share with family and friends. Turn on notification bells so you know when I upload. Recently, it's been every Monday. Been doing that since the beginning of July. So hopefully this trend continues. Hopefully my videos get watched, and everything goes great. I'll put a link from my Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram in the description below, so you can check those out and give it a follow. So yeah, of course, this is the Dragon Ball Super S.H.Figuarts Trunks, and I am AUTOCON360, and I'm saying laters.